Alright, today's build is going to be a little different. So I'm going to be making a 24-inch round table, but with a little twist. I've seen a lot of tables. They'll incorporate wood and do some colors, a little bit of epoxy. This is going to be something different. This is going to be for the avid turkey hunter. There's a lot of turkey hunters around there. I got a lot of projects coming up revolving around turkey hunting, but this is just something I'm kind of putting together. So I hope you enjoy watching me create this fantastic table.
Hey guys, so for the first portion of this video, I'm going to do some voiceover because there was a lot to cover here, and I jumped into this project with no plan. I literally just drew a circle on a table and started lining some feathers up and arranging them and trying to come up with something creative. So it turned into about 45 minutes worth of footage. This project took me weeks to complete, and essentially I just started cutting and editing and trying to get all this footage for you arranged in a manner where it was interesting and you could see how this table was created. So as you can see, I drew a little circle on the table showing you how big my mold was. My mold is a round 24-inch mold. So I arranged the feathers, all the feathers ranged between 8 and 12 to 13 inches, so I had to cut some of them down. I arranged them in a fan pattern, got them, in a circle there. I took some breast feathers of the turkey, the iridescent colors I liked, and I decided to hot glue them over the center of this project. Mainly because I kind of didn't want the quills, the parts where the feathers come together. I didn't want that to be the focus of your attention. I kind of wanted to just cover up that middle part where all the feathers came together, and I think it worked pretty good, as you could see there. It's kind of an interesting little setup, but I really like the way it came out. It turned out a little thicker in the center of this project than I thought it was going to be. Originally, I thought 2 gallons of resin was going to be enough. It turned out not to be enough. So here I just, kind of tried to come up with an idea of some way I could lay this feather arrangement down and kind of flatten it. That seemed to work. I'm checking the table for squareness and level. But I waited about 24 hours. Mold release here. I'm spraying the mold release into the mold. That's important for big pours to make sure that your resin doesn't stick to your mold. Alright, here I am pouring the resin into a bucket so I can mix it. At this time I'm mixing 1 gallon of resin. You want to make sure you mix it slowly but thoroughly. You want to try to reduce the amount of bubbles you're inserting into your project because you want to get all of them out anyways. So here you'll see it kind of self-relieves some of the bubbles, and then after a certain period of time you can start to pour your project. You don't really have to hurry. You got 45 minutes of working time with this stuff. So you can really take your time and get it right if you just slow down. A little torch there at the end kind of helps relieve some more of the bubbles. Once I inserted the turkey feathers onto this mold, I realized quickly that I didn't have enough resin. So I had to order more, have it sent to the house real fast, and then get this project remixed and poured in a manner of time where the resin didn't cure. You want these resins to bond to each other, and that was real important. So I'm getting the pour here, pouring it down over the feathers. And if you focus in the center of this project, you'll see that the center of the project, that little piece where I hot glued, actually stuck up. So I needed to add another gallon. In total, this was 3 gallons of resin. It's a pretty large pour. It's my largest pour to date, and you'll see.
Alright, so now the table has hardened. There's, like I said before in the video, there's 3 gallons of resin in this project. This is the bottom side. So there's a few spots that didn't dry evenly. and it's not as nice as I would like. It's the bottom, so it really doesn't matter a whole lot. And then as you can see, being my first attempt at making a table using turkey feathers, it came out really nice, but there's a few air bubble spots, a little couple pockets that showed up. They won't affect this project. You can't see them from the other side, and the next time I do this, I'll just be mindful and get rid of those. But it's turned out great. The mold itself, I wish the mold itself was a little bit higher quality, because it would have left the edge better. I do have to clean up the edge. It's a little wavy, and again, that's due to the mold. But I'm going to clean that up with the sander and go through its paces. Every time you go to a different grit, you just want to make sure you clean the surface and get rid of the old sanding mark. So you sand it at 100, and then when you go to 200, you want to make sure all the grooves that the 100 make are gone, so before you go to each next step. So that's real important when you're sanding these projects. But other than that, it's gonna take a while, and you'll see here. Alright, so now I've got it down to, I think we're on 1,000, yeah. So now I'm down to 1,500 grit sandpaper. Everything past like 600 I was doing wet. So what's important is your surface while you're sanding, wet sanding. You want to constantly be wiping it. You want to keep it wet, and then the sandpaper that you're using, you want to make sure it's dirt and dust free. So you randomly want to wipe it off. So what I like to do for this, since I got it on a turntable, I'll get it going, and then I wipe it. And I'll just continue doing that 30 or 40 times until I feel like it's gotten rid of all the scratches from the previous sandpaper. Then I'll do an edge here and an edge here, and then move on to the next grit. The next grit is going to be my last. That's 2,000 grit sandpaper, and then I'm going to move to a polish. Alright, and this is the final product. You take your time, guys. Even if you do need to sand a resin project, you can get it beautifully shined. So I did the tops, the bottom of this. This is a unique kind of table. It's very specific for Tom's shop, as far as he gets a ton of turkey hunters in the store. So this, in itself, will be an advertisement not only for Rustic Creations NEPA, but me as a person and an artist, and him as a store, because he really loves turkey hunting. So this is really going to show off something that he loves. But now we're going to get it mounted up. All right, we're here in my freshly remodeled bedroom, but the video for the table, the turkey table, is finally done. This took longer than I thought. If I build more in the future just like this, obviously I'll have a lot more knowledge, and I'll know some of the things that slowed me down. I'll know how to prevent them in the future. But I decided to, you saw in the last part, I was sanding the edges and creating an edge so it wasn't sharp and stuff on both sides of the table. But I flipped it over and I asked Tom, because it's Tom's table for his store, if he wanted it like fresh out of the mold, or if he wanted it like glossy, sanded smooth like the top. You aren't going to see the bottom anyways. And then I thought, like, it's a product that represents me. It represents Rustic Creations, NEPA. So I wanted it to look its best, especially since, like, next week there's going to be tons of hunters in there getting their licenses. So I want them to see an amazing table. And I want the table to represent me and give it my best effort, you know, in hopes that they're going to like the table and purchase one. So I can't wait to show you guys. It came out amazing. Here it is. Ready? Boom! Alright. Look at that. So, let me flip. This is the edge that I cleaned up. It was all wavy and stuff like that. So I cleaned it, polished it. You can see the feathers in there. They're like floating in the middle. But I cleaned it, polished it. Let's see if I can focus here. Gave it an edge, like a 45-degree angle on both sides. That way you're not going to have a sharp edge here. And then polished it on both sides. So to secure it, because the way this stand works, I chose this stand. But to secure it, let's see here. I put some countersunk. I got one in my pocket. I put some countersunk inserts into the table. If you see this little bolt right here, so that insert is actually up into the resin, and then I resined it into the table, so that's not going to come out. Then this bolt screws into it. The bolt itself is secured here by this plate. Now, if you were going to move this table for any reason, all you have to do is unscrew this. That base plate will stay on the table. That's secured. Can it come off? Sure. If you wanted it to come off, it can. You don't have to take this off. You just unscrew this tabletop from the base. So, that's what it looks like from underneath, guys. Like I said, I polished the whole thing. Made it look like a mirror. And it came out better than I expected. I'm really happy with the way it came out. So, I'm going to wrap this video up here. This is the turkey table. I really want to, if you lasted till the end, I really want to thank you guys for watching the entire video. This is something new. I haven't found anybody doing anything like this on YouTube. And I'm going to be doing more projects like this in the future. There's a lot of hunters out there who would like keepsakes and things like that from their hunt. So, instead of, like, say you didn't want to get an entire turkey stuffed, you could get a table made from the feathers of your turkey's butt. And then you could tell people this is, you know, this is the feathers from the turkey. And this table is a piece of decor. It's furniture that you could use all year round. You could, you know, put a lamp on this or something like that. The world is your oyster. But thank you for stopping by. This is Josh from Rustic Creations NEPA, and we'll see you next time.